I can tell you about the human skeleton. Welcome to my YouTube channel Hassan Tech. Human skeleton, the internal skeleton that serves as a framework for the body. This framework consists of many individual bones and cartilages. There also are bands of fibrous connective tissues, the ligaments and the tendons in intimate relationship with the parts of the skeleton. The article is concerned primarily with the gross structure and the function of the skeleton of the normal human adult. When one considers the relation of these subdivisions of the skeleton to the soft parts of the human body, such as the nervous system, the digestive system, the respiratory system, the cardiovascular system, and the voluntary muscles of the muscles system, is clear that the functions of the skeleton are the types three different types: sport, protection, and motion. Of these functions, sport is the most primitive and the oldest. Likewise, the axial part of the skeleton was the first to evolve. The vertebral column corresponding to the notochord in lower organism is the main support of the trunk. The central nervous system lies largely within the axial skeleton, the brain being well protected by the cranium and the spinal cord by the vertebral column. By means of the bony neural arches, the arches of bone that encircle the spinal cord and the intervening ligaments are distinctive characteristic of humans as compared with other mammals is erect posture. The human body is to some extent like a walking tower that moves on pillars, represented by the legs. Tremendous advantages have been gained from this erect posture, the chief among which has been the freeing of the arms for a great variety of uses. Nevertheless, erect posture has created a number of mechanical problems, in particular weight bearing. These problems have had to be met by adaptations of the skeletal system, protection of the heart, lungs, and other organs and structures in the chest creates a problem somewhat different for that of the central nervous system. These organs, the function of which involves motion, expansion, and contraction, must have a flexible and elastic protective covering. Such a covering is provided by the bony thoracic basket or rib cage, which forms the skeleton of the wall of the chest or thorax. The connection of the ribs to the breastbone, the sternum, is in all cases a secondary one, brought about by the relatively pliable rib costal cartilages. The small joints between the ribs and the vertebrate permit a gliding motion of the ribs on the vertebrate during breathing and other activities. The motion is limited by the ligamentous attachments between ribs and vertebrate. The third general function of the skeleton is that of motion. The great majority of the skeletal muscles are firmly anchored to the skeleton, usually to at least two bones and in some cases too many bones. Thus, the motions of the body and its parts all the way from the lung of the football player to the delicate manipulations of the handicraft artists or of the use of complicated instructions by a scientist are made possible by separate and individual engineering arrangements between muscles and bones.